Hey guys, I kind of have this over the camera at the moment because I am hiding what I look like for y'all to see because I did the makeup depending on the person we're talking about today. So, hi guys, can y'all guess who I am? Just kidding, I'm not gonna make y'all guess. I have the makeup of the alter ego of John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown. I know, it looks ridiculous. Or scary, whatever you want to say. But a little bit about him before we begin is John Wayne Gacy was an American serial killer and rapist who took the lives of at least 33 young males in Cook County, Illinois, burying most of them under his house. His goddamn house. Other bodies were recovered from the nearby Des Plaines River. He was sometimes known as the Killer Clown, hence this weird ass, whatever you want to call it, um, for his habit of dressing in clown costume and makeup. Gacy had an abusive childhood and struggled with his homosexuality, and after being convicted of sexual assault in 1968, his murders were discovered. Gacy was born on March 17, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois. The son of a Danish and Polish parents, Gacy and his siblings grew up with an alcoholic father who would beat his children with a razor strap if they had misbehaved. His father physically assaulted Gacy's mother as well. Gacy's sister Karen would later say that the siblings learned to toughen up against the beatings and that Gacy would not cry. Gacy suffered further alienation at school, unable to play with the other children due to a congenital heart condition that was looked upon by his father as another failing. He later realized he was attracted to men and experienced great turmoil over his sexuality. Gacy worked as a fast food chain manager during the 1960s and became a self-made building contractor and Democratic precinct captain in the Chicago suburbs in the 1970s. Like, this is another thing that bothers me about certain serial killers, is because he was conceived as a good guy. Like, nobody had a problem with him. And yet, he was a psychopath. Literally, psychopath. He was well liked in the community. Gacy organized cultural gatherings and was active in political organization. He was married and divorced twice, had 2 biological children, and 2 stepdaughters. So, like, this guy had a whole ass family. And yet he was running around murdering people like a fucking psycho. Hello? Does anybody not see a pattern with this? Is that some of the most well-known serial killers are never suspected of anything because people think they were good guys. Wake the fuck up, people. Gacy was a member of a Chicago area Jolly Joker Clown Club and frequently performed in clown attire and makeup at children's parties, charity fundraisers, and other events. When he killed, he sometimes dressed as his alter egos, Pogo the Clown or Patches the Clown. And Jersey and I did some research. Yes, she is my guest who did the makeup today. We did some research and we found out that this is actually the actual look he wore when he did his clowning, I guess you could call it. Clowning around. Um, the killer clown sometimes lured his victim with the promise of construction work or some other ruse, then captured, sexually assaulted, tortured, and eventually strangled most of them with his hands or rope. Damn, you gotta be pretty strong to be able to strangle somebody with their hands, because you gotta go like. No. Years later, during a conversation with detectives while he was under surveillance, Gacy discussed his work as a clown, remarking, "Clowns can get away with murder." Hello. Are people stupid? In 1968, Gacy was convicted of sexually assaulting 2 teen boys and given a 10-year prison sentence. He was released on parole in the summer of 1970, but was arrested again the following year after another teen accused Gacy of sexual assault. The charges were dropped when the boy did not appear during the trial. Hello, this guy was known for killing people, especially teenage boys. Y'all teenage boys were not safe during that time. Because Jeffrey Dahmer existed around that same time too. And he liked teenage boys too. By the middle of the 1970s, 2 more young males accused Gacy of rape, and he would be questioned by the police about the disappearances of others. Gacy referred to this period of his life as his cruising years, when he committed most of his murders. He made this a fucking game, guys. His cruising years? Eesh. On December 11th, 1978, 15-year-old Robert Peace went missing. It was reported to the police that the boy was last seen by his mother at a drugstore where he had worked before he headed out to meet Gacy to discuss a potential construction job. 10 days later, a police of Gacy's house in Norwood Park, Illinois, uncovered evidence of his involvement in numerous crimes, including murder. It was later discovered that Gacy committed his first known killing in 1972, taking the life of 16-year-old Timothy McCoy after luring the youth to his home. Damn, guys. Does anybody not know Stranger Danger? Seriously. Stranger fucking Danger. I don't care if it was back then. They needed to know Stranger Danger. After a lengthy period of police surveillance and investigation, and the discovery of several trenches filled with human remains in the crawl space beneath his house, Gacy eventually confessed to killing about 30 people. Then there was this special thing that I found about a victim called victim number 24. Over the years, there have been lingering concerns that Gacy may have been responsible for the deaths of other people whose bodies have yet to be found. When the police uncovered human remains in Gacy's house in 1978, 8 bodies could not be identified. And some of those 8 bodies haven't been identified today, which is very, very sad. And I probably look fucking ridiculous talking about it in clown makeup, but hey, gotta do what you gotta do for the views. More recently, Cook County authorities used DNA evidence to identify Gacy's unidentified victims. In 2017, one of those men, victim number 24, was identified as 16-year-old James Byron Hakinson. In 1976, Hakinson left his home in St. Paul, Minnesota, and traveled to Chicago to begin life in the city. On August 5th, he called his mother to let her know that he had arrived. However, police believe Gacy killed him shortly thereafter. In 1979, Hakinson's mother had contacted authorities to find out if her son was one of Gacy's victims, but she didn't have dental records, and the department lacked sufficient resources to identify him as a victim. Hakinson's mother died in the early 2000s, but other family members provided DNA samples in 2017, and authorities made an immediate match to victim number 24. So, someone finally got laid to rest. Damn. Trial and insanity plea. Gacy's trial began February 6, 1980. With Gacy having confessed to the crimes, the arguments were focused whether he could be declared insane and thus readmitted to a state mental facility. Gacy had told police that the murders had been committed by an alternate personality, while mental health professionals testified for both sides about Gacy's mental state. After a short jury deliberation, Gacy was ultimately found guilty of committing 33 murders, and he became known as one of the most ruthless serial killers in U.S. history. U.S. history, ladies and gentlemen. He was sentenced to serve 12 death sentences and 21 natural life sentences. And finally, his execution. Yes, John Wayne Gacy is no longer alive. Gacy was in prison at the Menard Correctional Center in Illinois for almost a decade and a half, appealing the sentence and offering contradictory statements on the murders and interviews. Though he had confessed, Gacy later denied being guilty of the charges and had 900 telephone numbers set up with a 12-minute recorded statement declaring his innocence. As both anti-death penalty forces and those in favor of execution made their opinions known, Gacy died by lethal injection on May 10, 1994, at Stateville Correctional Center in Crest Hill, Illinois. And then I happened to find a list of most of his victims. Timothy McCoy was 15, died on January 3rd, 1972. John Bavokovic, 17, July 29th, 1976. Darrell Sampson, 18, April 6th, 1976. Randall Reffitt, 15, May 14th, 1976. Samuel Stapleton, May 14th, 1976. Michael Bonin, June 3rd, 1976. William Carroll, June 13th, 1976. Rick Johnston, 17, August 6th, 1976. 6. Kenneth Parker, October 26th, 1976. Gregory Godric, December 12th, 1976. John Savick, January 20th, 1977. John Prestige, 1977. Matthew Bowman, July 5th, 1977. Robert Gilroy, September 15th, 1977. John Mowry, 19, September 25th, 1977. Russell Nelson, 1977. Oh, October 17th, 1977. Someone died on my birthday, guys. Yikes. Robert Winch, November 10th, 1977. Tommy Bowling, November 1977. David Tausma, December 1977. William Kindred, February 1978. Timothy O'Rourke, 1978. Frank Landinghan, November 4th, 1978. James Maserata, November 1978. And Robert Peist, December 11th, 1978. And then there are 8 other victims who have remained unidentified. Alrighty guys, that is all for today. I will see you all very, very soon. I have to go spend like 20 minutes in the shower getting all of this off. Leave a like, a heart, subscribe, please. I appreciate it. Also, I still have those links in my description of my channel. Go check those out because I want to see how you guys think I'm doing. Anyway, bye guys. Love you.